Hello, Kent Rotary. Dave Pattee here. Greetings to you from Irvine, California. I have such happy memories of you, making good things happen even in the most difficult of days. Speaking of difficult days, Dave Myers called me and suggested that some of you would enjoy, maybe could really use a bit of a refresher on some instruction I gave, a reprise of a tutorial we had in the dining hall of the Methodist Church several years ago when I showed you how to make what I think of as the perfect martini. It's called a Vesper, sometimes referred to as the James Bond martini. And James Bond gives the recipe for it to the bartender in Casino Royale. We're going to make very close to that recipe, just a little bit different, but very close to that recipe. Something, though, that certainly will be different is the last time we did this, we were together in the dining hall of the Methodist Church, and out of respect for that place and tradition, after making the martini, I poured it out. You are joining me here on the pastor's patio at the Irvine United Congregational Church, and I promise you, after we make this martini, I am going to drink it. So, like a lot of special things, especially luxury things that nobody ever needs, like a martini, it's all about the details. It's the details that make this into a special refreshment instead of, just a drink. So, anyway, the most important element is, of course, gin. And for me, for the money, Boodle's gin is, I think, a really good choice. Sapphire, Bombay Sapphire would also do. You want a premium, dry gin, not too flowery, not too peppery, something kind of in the middle. So Hendrick's, Junipero, Aviation, these are all great gins and I enjoy them, but they wouldn't be so good for this drink. Boodle's or Bombay Sapphire. The next largest element is vodka, which is, kind of a neutral spirit. I don't think it makes all that much difference, but, I use Tito's most of the time because that's what I have around. The next really important thing, and what really sets this martini apart, is that you are not going to use vermouth. What really sets this drink apart is its light and refreshing quality, not like vermouth, which is heavy and salty. I believe the technical term is icky. So you use a Bordeaux aperitif like white Lillet or something else. There are other aperitifs that you can use, but make sure that they are very light and flowery. And you're going to use just a little bit of this, and it's really going to make the drink sing. We'll get to the garnish a little bit later, but for now, let's start with the main event. So the proportions are 3 ounces of gin. And you want to be fairly careful about this. Not that it will, hurt to have too much of one thing or the other. But again, the details are important. The balance is important here. And it's just that kind of right balance of things that makes this drink so good. So, there you have the gin. And to the 3 measures, or in this case 3 ounces of gin, you're going to add 1 ounce of vodka, which kind of lightens and smooths the gin, but at the same time you still get all of the aromatic properties. And then a 1/2 ounce of the white Lillet. Now, another really important detail to a drink like this is you want it to be very cold. It's going to be shaken, not stirred, and you want it to be really cold, so you want to have a chilled glass. And this is an occasion where if you have really good crystal, use it, because the higher the lead percentage of the glass that you're using, the better it retains the cold and the cooler it keeps your drink. So use your nice stuff, put it in the freezer, or as I have, fill it with ice and then water to chill it down. And while the liquor is chilling down on the ice in your beaker, you're going to prepare the garnish. Now, for the same reason you're not going to use white vermouth, you're also not going to use olives, which are heavy and salty. And I like olives too, but that's not this drink. What you're going to use is lemon zest. Notice, please, that I did not say lemon peel. Sometimes, even in really fancy places, you'll get these beautiful curly cues and they look really good, but they don't do much for the drink, and potentially they do it some harm because they have a lot of the pith still left on there. That's how they get it to hold that shape, and you don't want that anywhere near your drink. So you just want the lemon zest, and you want a nice, ripe, and shiny orange, because what you're going for here is the oil. You want the oil, so you're just going to take the zest off. And I'm going to do 2 nice pieces of the lemon zest. You can do this with a sharp paring knife, or easier yet, as I'm doing it, you can do it with a vegetable peeler. I'm taking 2 pieces off. One, because I'm going to twist it over the drink when it's done, so that I get that nice oil slick of lemon oil on top that really makes the drink pop. And then I'm going to do 1 other piece because, you know, it looks pretty. But notice here, very little pith on the back. It's almost all zest. And when I go like this over the drink, it's going to express that oil onto the top, which is one of the really lovely things about this drink. So now the liquor has chilled down, and what's one of the most famous James Bond expressions, especially when it comes to martini? Shaken, not stirred. Well, that's a way of saying that you want it really cold, and also you want it a little weak. When you shake the ice in the liquor, it breaks off and it adds a little bit of water to the cocktail, and that's exactly what you want. Remember, we're going for light and refreshing here. There's a lot of booze in it, so it can afford to get a little bit of water. And about the right time for this is when it starts to feel a little uncomfortable on your fingers because the beaker is so cold. That's when you can stop. Okay, that's just about right. My fingers are starting to go a little bit numb. So now you take your nicely chilled glass. This is the pastor's patio. And yes, this is just right. Now here comes the best part. You're going to take one of your pieces of lemon peel and you're going to just fold it like this. Oh, I wish you could see it so closely with me. You see those little oil droplets go on top. It kind of scatters the foam that came when you poured it, and there's this wonderful smell coming up with the liquor, and that's the lemon oil, and it's just great. And this one for looks, and now it's ready. So, with respect to the Methodists in the room, and fond greetings to all of you. Good health.